Hey, hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing great. So, welcome to our channel. So, today I am going to share you my interview experience with Qualcomm. So, basically, in this video, I'll be talking about the telephonic discussion that I have underwent with Qualcomm and how were the questions. Like, I was actually attending it for the full stack developer, but in this video, I'll be sharing you just the UI part, like front end interview questions, because that is where I got rejected. So until this interview, like I was attending the interviews like full stack developer, though I just worked on Angular, and at the back end I have worked on all the technologies related to Java. But after this interview, I have stopped attending the full stack developer interviews because the way the guy grilled me in this interview, I was scared to call me myself as a full stack developer. Rather, I used to tell the interviewers that I know Angular 2 only, like Angular 2 plus version. I am not a full stack developer. Why I am saying you like that? I'll make you through the questions in the upcoming slides, and you will come to know that. So the interview round was like a telephonic interview, like as I've already said you, and the role for which they were hiring me was a senior engineer, and the location was at Hyderabad. My experience at that time was 4 years of experience, and interview type was telephonic mode, and interview day was a weekday, and this was a referral interview. What actually caused the issue was this referral type, because my friend works there in the same team. There was a requirement, so he referred me. So he knows his team lead, and he suggested me to prepare few topics. So like mostly he suggested me to prepare on Angular, so I was well prepared with the Angular thing. But the guy who took the interview was some other guy where he were like literally grilled me. So like as soon as we started the interview itself, that guy gave a big introduction of himself, like he is from IIT Kharagpur or some IIT, and from so how long he is working into which domain, like which technologies he have worked, and so on things. He have given a big introduction. Then he started the question. So before getting into the question, so this is about ourselves. Like most of us, like we share the real time interview experiences. So if you like our channel, you can subscribe it. If you wish to share your interview experiences, so please do reach out to the email address that is given in the mail, no sorry, that is given in the description. So this is about the quick introduction. So coming to the first question, this was a simple question, I would say. Explain the difference between var, let and const keywords. So I have said him like var variables can be updated and redeclared within the given scope. When coming to the let variables can be updated but not redeclared, and coming to the const variables can neither be updated nor redeclared. So the guys, when I gave this answer, like it was a pretty straightforward answer. So when I gave this answer, he was like, no, please explain me with an example. So I started explaining him with that example, and he was like drilling me like why, where, why const, and which scenario, what you will use, and all those things he was asking me. So I was able to say him all the questions. So coming to the next question, what are JavaScript types? So I remember like JavaScript has 6 or 5 primitives, like primitive types: string, number, null, boolean, undefined. So I vaguely remember, and I said the same thing, and he was expecting me to explain about each and every keyword there, which I was not able to explain, because to be honest, I was not aware of explicitly what are those keywords. Like I know how to use them, but I was not like technical, like what I can say, theoretically I was not aware of those things. So that was about this question. The next question was like, how is JavaScript different from Java? So I was a blank for a moment, like what are the differences. Then I quickly remembered like JavaScript runs on the browser only, like browser side only. But when it comes to Java, we can, using Java we can create applications, and that can be run on JVMs or even on the browser. So I said that the only difference I was getting at that time. So I was explained him the same thing. And next question was like, what is the difference between the get and post in HTML forms? So taking the example of the REST APIs, like get and post, when do we use? So I explained him the same thing somehow, but I was not aware of the differences like between get and post, although they are same like coming to REST or HTML, but still I was not able to give the 100% answer here. So next question was how to access an external JavaScript file that is stored externally and not embedded. Completely blanked out. I was not aware of this. So I was not good at JavaScript itself. I would just learn Angular somehow, and I was attending interviews. Even though I know how to handle like googling it out and getting the answers and solutions to the given user story to me, I can handle in that way. But when it comes to theoretical part, I was very weak, so I couldn't answer this question. How to access that? So next question was describe any two new features of HTML5. Completely blanked out. I was not aware of this answer also. Like what are the new features in Angular? Sorry, in HTML5. So I said the same thing. I am not aware of it. Then even then, that guy asked me what is the difference between HTML and HTML5. So again, I was not able to answer this question as well. So next question was what is the use of local storage in HTML5? Is it a good practice? So local storage we use like in our application itself we use local storage. So I explained him the same thing like for what purpose local storage we use. So coming to is it a good practice? I said like it depends whether it depends completely on the application. If you are okay to store something, then it is a good practice for that application. But if you are not storing, like if you want to store any sensitive data, that then it is not a good practice at all. But if you want to store any normal thing, then we can store that one. So somehow I managed to answer this question. So next question is what is the difference between HTML5 application cache and regular HTML browser cache? Again completely blanked out. 0% knowledge on this. Like I know local storage and session storage in Angular, but here like I was not able to answer him. Then the next question came distinguish between static versus dynamic HTML. So what is static HTML and what is dynamic HTML? So somehow I managed it. Like static HTML is something which we write, and dynamic HTML we create at the runtime. So based on some input parameters or some user selections, HTML gets generated. That is known as dynamic HTML. So somehow I managed till here. Then start the next interesting question, that is CSS part. I have zero knowledge on CSS to be honest. So first question was what is CSS flex box? Completely blanked out again. No answer from my side. Like I kept quiet for 1 minute. Then he asked me whether you want to answer something or just we can move on. So I said we can move on. I am not aware of this. Then he started. How does a browser determine what elements match a CSS selector? No answer from mine to be honest. I was not at all knowing what he was asking me the question. So then again the next question was again on the CSS again, like how does CSS work under the hood? When I was not able to answer him any single question on CSS, how would what he expected, I don't know. Like he was expecting me to explain how CSS works internally or under the hood. Zero knowledge again here. Then came like what are the different modules used in current version of CSS? Again I was not able to answer him. So completely blanked out on all the CSS related questions. Then came the questions related to Angular. So where I am good at. So I was well prepared with this. So when he was asking me, like I felt very happy to be honest when I heard Angular word in the interview. Like the question was like how Angular 2 and above versions are different from Angular. So as I was well prepared for this, it was very easy for me for to cracking these questions, like questions related to Angular, like what all few questions he has asked me. I was very pretty much confident, and I was I explaining him the same. So coming to the next question was again like what are the components in Angular? So explain him in detail like what are components and how Angular 2 is like in from Angular 2 plus version, how components are playing a major role in. Then came the question like what are the Ngmodule metadata properties? Explain him all the properties of Ngmodule metadata. So here again he was expecting me to answer very deeply. So I was giving him at a high level overview of the scenarios, but he was expecting me to answer in deep way. Then the next question was what is parameterizing pipe and how do we use them? So as I use this type in my application as well. So I was pretty much comfortably was able to explain him. But again, he twisted this question. I exactly don't remember, but he twisted on this question as well, which I was unable to answer at that time. So coming to the next question, like why you use browser module, common module, or forms module, router module, and HTTP client module. So again, like regarding every module, I was prepared well. So kept on explaining about all the different modules, like when and what I use, like what is the functionality of different modules here. So then there was a question like why was Angular introduced as client-side framework. I know like Angular was a single page application. For developing single page applications, Angular came up, but I was not aware of, like I was unable to clearly make a sense like why it was introduced as a client-side framework. As far as I know, it can be rendered as the server side as well, but then I somehow managed like saying to reduce the load on the servers. It was made as a client-side framework. Then there was a question like what is AOT, like ahead of time compilation. Ahead of time compilation, what are its advantages? So somehow managed to explain this one, and was okay on this as well. Then there was a question like differentiate between ng class and ng style. This was again average question, but as far as I know, by this time he moved to Angular section. He has made up his mind to reject me, and he was not paying that much attention when I was explaining him the answers. So the next question is, if your data model is updated outside the zone, explain the process how you will view that. So gives explained him like how can we do that, but he was not at all paying the attention, to be honest. Then there was a last question like what is dirty checking in Angular. So explain him like what is it called dirty checking. Like again, like he was not that much interested in me, so I was rejected, to be honest. Like, nothing to hide there. So feedback of the interview was like it was one of the toughest interviews, to be honest. Like I was not prepared, maybe my mistake, but the guy was like the expectation was to the deep. Like you cannot just move away. Like I never like, to be honest, I have attended many interviews, but this was at a different level itself. Like the depth of the answers he was expecting me was a lot. Then to be honest, there was nothing salary offered. This was as we followed template, we go with this. This was conducted in the month of December, I believe, December or Jan, somewhere December or Jan. So this was about the interview process or interview questions that I have encountered in the telephonic round. So if you like this video, do subscribe, share, or comment, like, so that this might help someone who's looking out.
Why do we ask our viewers or subscribers to share our videos? The reason for starting this channel was to share real-time interview experiences. A few years back, when we were trying to switch our company, we were not finding out a perfect answer like what is the interview process at a respective company, or what kind of interview interview questions we may encounter in the interview at that company, or how much salary we can expect there, like how much we can say, like what we can expect there. So we were not finding it on any site. Even on the sites like Glassdoor, we were not able to find the complete picture there. So we have started this channel, and why we ask you to share is, and we believe that there are many other like us who want to know like similar kind of things. So if you share this video somewhere, someone will get an idea on the interview process or type of questions they are going to encounter in the interview, and how much salary they can expect there. So that is the reason we ask you to share our videos. Why do we ask our viewers to share subscribers? The reason for asking is that there are n number of interview questions that we have already shared, and there are many other interview experiences or interview questions which are there in the queue. If you subscribe us, you will not miss any of the updates that we are publishing. And one more thing is, like, we are working with different members, like with our friends who work on different technology stack like .NET, DevOps, AWS, Salesforce, and very soon we will be sharing the interview experiences of on those technologies as well.